Hello, everyone. My name is David DeSantis III, and today I'll be reviewing the movie Eternity. This is a 2025 film. I think it is coming out this week. I saw it a couple of days ago and was super excited to talk about it. I can't wait to talk about it, so I'm glad that I get to do it. Before I get into the movie itself, I'm going to talk about just kind of like my expectations going into it. I remember in August, this movie released its trailer, and it was A24, and I was like, I don't know how A24 is super hit or miss for me. A lot of their movies I don't want to check out because they're like deep, dark horror stuff. But then they make movies like The Iron Claw, or I feel like there's another one I'm missing that I really like, but The Iron Claw, and so I'm like, okay, and now they're going into romance, almost looks like a rom-com. I'm like, I'm sold. I'm like, this looks amazing. I watched the trailer and immediately was like, this I have to see when it comes out. So I was super excited for it and was super glad I got to see it. And so my expectations were pretty high. I was expecting a good movie, and partly of that is because of what was going on behind the screen. One, like I said, the studio is A24. Even though they might not be my favorite studio, I appreciate that they take films like this and still make them, because there's just not a lot of studios that make movies like this anymore, that are just original and not a franchise. And so I really do appreciate that from them. Warfare, that's the other movie, no, great movie by them, Warfare. Um, and so yeah, I was excited. The director is also the co-writer. His name is David Frayne. I think that's how you pronounce it. I had no idea who he was, but was excited to see his film. And then what really I think also helped draw me to it was the actors and actresses in this movie. One, you have Elizabeth Olsen, who's from the Marvel movies, and she's great. So super excited for that. Miles Teller, I liked basically everything that he's in. And then I forget how you say his name, but he's the lead from The Boys in the Boat, which I really liked, and another movie I can't think of. And I looked it up, and he's in the Fantastic Beast movies, which I totally forgot about because I totally forgot about all those movies because they're not that good. But I like him, and so that was cool to see all three of them in this, and also the cop from Only Murders in the Building, which that was really special because me and my wife watched that show together, and we love that show. So it was cool that she was in this too. So everything behind the screen, I was pretty excited about, and built my expectations. And kind of going right into like the story, I think that this is one of the best stories in a while. This is such an original story, such an original world. I loved it. It just was like, I wouldn't have come up with this. I haven't seen movies that necessarily are exactly like this beat per beat, not necessarily the romance aspects. I'm talking about the world aspects and like the plot. Like it's so interesting and so unique, and I think amazing. And I think it's such a great story for a romance drama comedy like this, because all rom-coms play out the same for the most part. There's a romance, there's issues going on, there's most of the time a love triangle, and then I think what really kind of hinders a lot of rom-coms is that love triangle gets super murky. Like it's like, oh, I'm in love with this person and want to marry them, but I just met her sister and now I'm in love with her too. And it's like, what? Okay, how can I root for you? You like two sisters? Like, that's weird. This makes so much sense because it was, she was married to two people. So it's like, yeah, either way, it's super valid. They're both your husband. And that's what makes it so hard in this movie, is because, you're choosing to spend eternity with, one of your two husbands that you've had. And I think it makes it so great. There's not that murkiness that's in some rom-coms of like, ooh, like this is that's kind of weird. No, this just works, and I think that this world's so amazing. Getting to kind of see more of it, and I love what they do with the world. It feels so, you know, on its own. Like it is its own thing. They're not in eternity yet. It's like the junction in between, I think they call it, and I think that it looks so amazing just with the design and everything. And I just loved how unique this story was, how interesting it was. Like, yeah, the romance and the actors drew me in, but it was this world and this story that really kind of kept me locked in, of like, oh, like it's so cool. Even when there's the slower moments going on in the screenplay, I'm still like, this is so cool. What an interesting plot. So I just really appreciated how unique this was, how it felt like an original movie. It didn't feel like I was just, watching the same story over and over again. Even though it's a romance story that we've seen a million times, it felt so new and fresh and unique. And I loved that. And I think part of that is the actors. I think the acting and the characters, characters go into the story too, but make it so good. Like you have two different marriages here. You have the one that they've been together their whole lives. They've gone through everything together, and then you have one that were like, they were young, married, um, and then he died in the war, and so it's like two completely different relationships, and she has to pick one, and it's so well portrayed. I think every character is great, especially the guy from the Boys in the Boat. His character is really interesting. It plays on the trope that there is a perfect guy out there or a perfect girl, like they can do no wrong in these movies, and I think that they really have fun with that with his character. And then Miles Teller, specifically Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen, both give great performances, because both of them die. Their characters die when they're really old, and so these 30-year-old actor and actress have to act like they're really old, and they do such a good job of that, of still giving life, but also they're talking like, yeah, their prime was like in the, I don't know, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe. I don't know, but they really do a good job of selling that, like there's still that person that like just passed away that I was just watching that was old, and that was so good. And I think that, yeah, each character you relate to, you can understand. They're so well fleshed out. I think you can understand both of them, even the girl from Only Murders in the Building, and her partner that work there is also like, just you've like all these characters. I think all these characters are done really well, and it's really helped by the acting. There's a lot of comedic things in here that the actors do really well, but also a lot of serious things. I think that this um, is not as funny as rom com. Like, I almost don't want to put it in the rom com genre, because it's not fully a rom com where it's just like, oh, fun, fun, fun. Like, there's some dramatic stuff that I think they handle pretty well, and it's a really serious, and like, it's such a high pressure situation of having to pick someone, one of your husbands, for the rest of your life. And so I think that was done so well, and I think that, yeah, the direction's done really well. There's not really anything bad that I can say. I just feel like he made this world look so good, and made it someplace I want to like visit. Like, I think the camera work is amazing. I think it's directed so well. I think they built the world so well with the stage production and the effects that they added in. I think they did just an amazing job. And I think that part of that too, with the story, that I think was really good, that kind of really, I think, makes the movie hit home for me, which is interesting. I saw it with my wife. She didn't think it was as climactic as I was, and I thought it was climactic because of the story. And I think they do such a good job of explaining the rules of this junction world that leads you to eternity. Like, they explain, what you have to do, what you can't do, and I think they do a really good job of that, of like not just like sitting you down and saying this is what happens, but like slowly and also briefly showing you what happens and what the rules are. And so you kind of briefly see like, oh, okay, like that's a rule. I don't know if I need to know that. That looks kind of random. We'll see. But then those things, when the end happens and the big climax happens, you're like, oh, okay, I remember this from the beginning of the movie. This is like crucial. And so I was on the edge of my seat at the end, kind of. I just thought it was pretty intense and pretty cool. So I really liked it. I think everything worked for me. Just looking, the main characters looking like they're from the 50s or 60s, and the world almost feeling like it was in the 50s or 60s. I just loved it. I loved this movie. I had such an amazing time with it. It felt so fresh. It felt so new. I was just, it was just amazing. And I loved its message. It has a really interesting and unique for rom-coms, I think, message on love, and just kind of like it plays up the tropes of a normal rom-com, and the person that the main character normally chooses is for these specific reasons. And this movie's kind of like, well, okay, like that's fine, but like let's look at this love and like the real, like true love. And I thought that it was just such a great message and delivered so well in an amazing package in this world. And yeah, absolutely loved this movie. I think my review, I'm going to give it an A. I think it might be definitely top three movie for me. I have to look back and see all the new movies I've seen this year, but this one definitely is high up there. And I absolutely love this movie. I definitely recommend going to see it. As far as biblical application, because I believe that every story takes from the gospel of Jesus Christ, because that's the foundational story of our world. I think that you see some selfless love in here that you know is truly selfless. There's one moment where there really is just an act of selflessness, and that goes back to Christ and what he did for us on the cross. And then I think also remembering that this eternity is not real, because I mean, this is not what heaven's going to be like at all. And so I think that that's funny, but I thought it was such a unique way to show the afterlife. But obviously, that is not what's going to happen. But yeah, I think that's the biggest application you can take away from it, is the selflessness, and knowing that like that's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to put others before ourselves, and like in a marriage role, right? We're supposed to represent Christ and put that person before ourselves, just like how he did that for us. And so, amazing movie. Absolutely love this movie. You should go see it. I highly encourage it. This is a movie that needs money and needs people to go see it in theaters, so we can have more movies like this that are original and unique and not just a franchise. Don't get me wrong, I love franchises. I love superhero movies. I love trilogies and sagas and all this stuff. But like, we need the original movies too, that are fun and good and great stories and great worlds. And this was one of those. So please go see it. If you guys want to like and subscribe, that would be awesome. I would love to do this full time, because I like reviewing movies and talking about movies. But I appreciate you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a happy Thanksgiving, because as I'm filming this on Thanksgiving. But yeah, go see this movie. It's amazing.